All right, what up, YouTube? As fun as fishing is, maintenance is super important. So if you want to go fishing, you got to do the maintenance. I got this Sea Arc with the DF150 Suzuki about 2 years ago, and she's just turned over 200 hours on her. So we got to change the oil, we got to change the lower unit gear oil, and we got to do the spark plugs today. So shouldn't take us too long to get this started, but wanted to put together a video on a quick how-to to save yourself a ton of money. These dealers are getting $500 and $600 and $700 to do something like this. I think I'll do the math and I'll get you the numbers in a little bit, but it's somewhere around 150 bucks plus or minus, and I'll get you the part numbers. They'll be in the description below. So the kit was $132.83 with tax. I had to pay $42.53 shipping. So the grand total to get this oil, the spark plugs, the gear oil was $175.36. That saved me at least $300 from taking it to a dealer and having it. Y'all, it's not hard to do if you are halfway mechanically inclined. Just a couple of bolts, couple of filters, and time, really. But first things you're going to need is you're going to need some muffs. These muffs right here are what are going to go on the outside of this. You'll see it in a minute. Hook up a water hose, because you got to get this engine up to running temperature so that all this oil drains out. This oil has a lot of sediments in it, and they're at the bottom, and whenever you drain this pan out, sometimes you don't get all those. So when you get the oil engine temperature or running temperature, it will allow those sediments to kind of get mixed up and they'll flush out with the oil. This is a pump to get the lower unit gear oil back up in there, and I'll show you that in a little bit, but this is super important. So make sure that with your Suzuki motors that you get the brand name Suzuki stuff. All right, I got a kit from a marina, and you want to make sure that you get their name brand stuff for your Suzuki motor. So this ECSTAR oil, this is 10W40 for the engine, and for the lower unit, it's the XR SAE 90. We got the Suzuki brand spark plugs. So that's all we're going to do today. Super simple. Anyway, let's get started. All right. So first thing you're going to want to do is get these muffs hooked up. Yeah. And y'all, there's going to be a lot of water here, so make sure you're in a place where things are going to get wet. Run over here and turn your water on. And let's fire this puppy up. All right, most important thing is make sure that she's peeing. If you're running that water in there and you don't have water flow throughout this motor, it will overheat, and it will overheat in a hurry. I don't know, water muffs, they're super important. But we're gonna let this guy run for maybe 10 minutes, 15 minutes, thereabouts. All right, y'all, pro tip. I just thought about this. When you're doing the engine warm up and you're getting everything all soaking wet, do that somewhere where you're not about to be working, so that you don't be tracking mud and getting all wet and nasty. Lesson learned. All right, go ahead and take your cowling off. You got 3 clamps. One in the front, 2 on the sides. Couple of things real quick. So there's your engine oil dipstick. There's your engine oil filter. I'm gonna go ahead and take that side piece off to make it easier to get to. And you got a fuel cap in the front of the engine right here. Go ahead and crack that guy loose. You crack that loose on the front, it'll allow the engine, I don't know what you call it, the engine to breathe as this oil is draining out, and you won't get any locks in there. So when we get ready to take this out, we'll drain the engine best we can first. Here is the engine oil drain plug, and we'll take that out. It's going to come with a crusher gasket that you'll put. You need to put a new crusher gasket on that. I'll talk about that in a minute. All right, let's get this piece off. Well, guys, I believe you missed the magic of me pulling this thing off, but again, I forgot to hit the record button. Oil filter wrench right here. You put it on that oil filter, spin it off. Super easy. Put a rag down here at the base, so whenever you do pull this oil filter off, your rag will catch most of your oil. Good gracious, I've made a mess. Don't do that. Learn from me. All right, y'all, let's go ahead and put this filter back on here. There's a place on the back to put notes on the filter. I've got 424, today's 420. Got 210 hours on this engine now. So I got an oil change after the break-in at 10 hours. I changed it again at 110 hours, and now we're changing it at 210 hours. So if you put notes on your filter, you'll know that. You should be able to remember pretty easily just by the hour gauge on your dashboard. Take your oil filter and put a little bit of oil in here. You're just going to want to take a little bit of your oil here, maybe about a third of the way. That way, whenever you first start it, it's just not a completely dry startup. Again, get this good and cleaned up, or just get a little bit of oil on your finger and rub that gasket good all the way around. You really want to get this thing coated down, because if that were to seat on there dry, you may have a really hard time getting it off. All right, so got it on here. We're gonna put it on there as quick as possible. All right, there's not a lot of room here because of this guy, so I am gonna take this and tighten this dude. You do not want this super tight, all right? So that's good and tight. If you have a hard time getting that off, you can drive a screwdriver in there and break it, but there's oil filter wrenches that fit on the back of this thing just fine. So, all right, I'm gonna finish cleaning this up as this oil continues to drain out. We'll get this guy cleaned up, and then we'll start filling her back up with the right amount of oil. Again, ECSTAR. That's the only way to go, folks. All right, y'all. I took my engine and I lifted it up just to see if there would be any more oil that comes out of here. And there was a good bit of oil that came out from the engine. So when I lifted it up, it shifted and a lot of oil came out. I'm dripping it all over the ground. I'll get it cleaned up, but that's a good thing. You want to get as much of this oil out as you can, because you want to get all that bad out that's got the sediment and the nastiness in it. That filter does a really good job, but you want to help it out as much as you possibly can. So again, lift your engine up and down a few times just to see if you can get any more out of there. So we're dripping. Oh man, I can't tell what I'm recording and what I'm not recording. Your plugs for the lower unit have also got some small gaskets. When you get a oil change kit from your dealer, you will want to take these and pull the old ones off. All right, I pulled it back a little bit. This is the very small one. That's the one that goes on the bottom. It's got the little magnet to see if there's any shavings on your lower unit. Pull that crusher ring. It's this one is actually like a rubber ring. You've got also a metal crusher ring that goes on your plug. So this is your oil plug, metal crusher ring. It's going to go right here in your oil plug. The two bolts for your lower are these small ones, and this is the one that goes on the very, very bottom. Replace those. As you pull these off, go ahead and throw them away, because you'll get them mixed up. They actually still look pretty new, but as you get those off and you put the new ones on, go ahead and throw these away. All right, little pro tip: take your rings, dip them in oil and from your cap. You get it back on there. You can kind of get it sort of started. don't just push it on there because it'll actually make it loose, but take your screwdriver and screw that gasket ring on to seat it. All right, y'all, I'm gonna go ahead and put one of these plugs back in. It is the top plug for the lower unit, and this one does not have a gasket. You're gonna wanna get this thing, you'll feel it go to the bottom and seat, and as soon as you get it there, just give it a good turn. You definitely don't want this coming loose. Now we're gonna leave this next plug, next plug open. We will take our pump here and we're gonna hook it up to this lower unit hole, and we're gonna pump oil in there until it starts oozing out here. So that's what we'll do here in a bit. I'm just going ahead and getting that started as we fill up the engine oil now. All right, folks, I'm definitely gonna invest in one of those little clamps. It's a 3D printed tool that clips on the bottom of this drain for your engine oil. I still have engine oil dripping out of here, and it's making a mess. My bottom of my engine looks slick, baby. It's clean with oil, but I'm gonna go ahead. I think we got as much out as we're going to get. Again, take your engine oil plug, new crusher gasket, the Allen wrench that come with it. Oh yeah, I want to put a little bit of oil on that guy. Everything needs to be oiled up. Get it started in there. These are machine threads, so if it doesn't go very, very easy, don't do it. Yeah, there it goes. I don't know what the torque rate is supposed to be on this thing. Probably, I don't have any idea. My little cheater bar here, slide it over my Allen wrench. I'm gonna give it a, oh, I felt that crusher ring get crushed on there. I'm gonna give it another, and we're there. Now we can proceed to pour the oil up in the top. See you up there in a second. All right, folks, I have got the wrong size pump screw on for my bottle. As you can see, it's a fat lip bottle. That's a regular lip pump, but we're gonna make it work. We did last time. All right, let's see here. I'm trying to keep this thing as clean as possible. I don't want to pump any from the ground. If you hold your tube, it should spin while you get this in there. All right, let's see. I'm gonna keep, there we go. All right, it's good and tight, yeah. Yeah, this adapter right here was, I guess that was for another project, I don't know. All right, so they send 2 quarts in the kit, and you will only need 1 quart and a little bit of the next. So I'm gonna go with the last time I did this, I'm gonna take this old quart, and again, I've got this top plug in, and I've got the one that says oil level out, and I'm gonna clean this guy up to make sure I don't pump any cat hair, dog hair, sand, definitely not sand or grit or any of these little rocks right here. All right, but just take this guy here, put it in there, and then we'll get to pumping. We'll be right back. I'm gonna get this guy filled up and be right back with you. All right, y'all, we got the engine oil changed, we got the lower unit gear oil changed out, and now we're gonna work on these 4 spark plugs right here. Looks like there's gonna be a little bit of something in the way that we'll have to pull out here. Potentially have to pull off this piece of the cowling as well to get into this one. But with your toolkit, you got a bag that came with the boat, with the motor. You got some pieces here that you should be able to work on pretty much this entire engine with that toolkit. It's pretty cool. So don't know exactly what size bolt that is right there, but that's the piece. Whatever size that is, I have no idea. I'm gonna put that in there, take that screwdriver, pop it loose. So let's give it a shot, see what that thing looks like. All right, easy peasy. Oh, now, again, get you a little cup, something like this. drop your bolts in, makes it so much easier. All right, there's a clip here that looks like you could probably unclip and pull off. I don't know how that thing works. Let's take a peek. I might have to get y'all in here a little bit closer. Yeah, all right, so got a clip here. If I pull that off, I should be able to take this and pull it right out. That is a cover for your spark plug. Your spark plugs are behind there. So 1, 2, 3, 4. And this right here is going to be in the way, and that tube probably going to be in the way. I'll probably have to take that off. So not too hard. All right, let's get to it. Well, I learned something. We got a wrench. Put that guy on there. Oh, not quite enough. That was easy. I love it when things are easy. Sometimes when you start a project like this and it seems like it should be really easy, it becomes suddenly a problem. All right, another pretty good looking spark plug. New one, ta-da. Anti-seize. Doesn't take a lot of that stuff. I'm really thankful for this long extension. I was worried about this thing. I've seen several videos where people had the spark plug adapter, the spark plug socket, and they would go in there, it'd get stuck when they'd pull the extension off. Anyway, we're good. You will go in there until you feel it seat, and then after you feel it seat, it's wanting 11 to 14 pounds of torque. So that's not a lot. Not a lot at all. All right, we're there. This next one is going to be a little bit more problematic because of that stupid tube. That's okay. All right, y'all. Sorry about that. Camera got too hot and the darn thing cut off. So we got this replaced, this replaced, this replaced, this replaced. The only thing I had to remove was this tube right here. It's just a little clamp. That's a fuel line, so when you pull that down, you're going to get a little gas down here. No big deal. This right here is actually far enough back out of the way. Everything's good there. So we've got all our plugs seated. We've got our oil changed. We've got the foot oil changed as well, the gear oil changed. So before I put everything kind of back together, I'm gonna go ahead and hook those water muffs back up to it, and we're gonna start it up to make sure it sounds right. Stay tuned. All right. Now the good news is those muffs slide on a lot better when the bottom of the engine's all greased up with oil, huh? That's it. I'm gonna get these pieces put back together on this engine, and hopefully this video will help you out whenever you get ready to save yourself some money. But that saved me at least $300 from taking it to a dealer and having them do it. Plus, I know it was done right. Did it to the best of my ability. I drained everything out, made sure we got real good fresh, or get all the bad oil out and get fresh oil in there. Just a sense of satisfaction, gratification, all of those things. Appreciate y'all watching this video. If you haven't done it already, please subscribe to the channel. I'm trying to grow this thing out. Like, subscribe, share with your friends, and we will catch y'all out on the water. Y'all take care now. Have a good one.